Hi, so I'm going to show you how to do the cobblestone stitch. It's a really easy stitch to do. It gives you a really nice textured piece of work. Oh, bring it up close so you can see it. It also works in the round. It looks, how do I explain it? Well, when you're going back and forth, you're slanting one way, then you're slanting the other, which makes these stitches go, in a slant way. When you're going in the round, the stitches will line up more evenly, but still have texture. And I will have round pieces on as well. So there it is. And then the inside looks like this, and it's really attractive too. So you can make a reversible piece of fabric. Now I've used a bulky yarn on Charisma. Just gonna reach over and get the bag here. And it's not one of the thicker Charismas. It's a little thinner than usual Charisma. It's the Charisma Tweed Hues. And the color of this one is, where is it here? Spice Market. So the color is Spice Market, and it's got quite a lot of pretty tones in it. There you can see it there, and there's 109 yards, and it says it's a bulky 5. So that's what I'm using, and the loom I'm using is a 5/8 inch gauge. That's it, Cindy Wood loom. And for this is a scarf that I'm making. I did, I believe, 16 pegs. I'll count them: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 16, 17, 18. Oh, I did 20. So I did 20 pegs on the 5/8 inch loom. If you wanted to get this same look on the 3/4 inch loom, like the big yellow nifty knitter, you could use a bit thicker bulky than this. The normal Charisma would be thicker, or even a super bulky would give you a really thick textured material if that's what you're going for. This one isn't that thick, but it's still got an amazing amount of texture. And it will make a, it's made up of 2 stitches. One stitch is Owl Eye, and the other stitch is Theresa Higby's Purl Over Stitch, and she gave me permission to do videos using her stitch. And so how does it look compared to Owl Eye? Well, it makes a slightly tighter weave than Owl Eye, and a more textured weave than Owl Eye. Okay, so I'm just going to show you how to do it for the flat panel. So this is just a stitch video. I'm not going to show you the finished project here, but it has just a chain cast on, and I'm doing my edges the way I do on my Owl Eye videos. So you'll see me do an edge. So actually there's probably enough information in here for you to make a scarf if you wanted to, but basically I'm just going to be showing you the stitch, and I will have other videos of this stitch. So we'll get started. So I'm just going to put the yarn back in the bag. I keep all my yarn in bags, all my yarn completely dust free. There we go. Okay. So all we need to do now is do 1 row of Owl Eye. I already started this row, so I'm just going to finish it in Owl Eye. So for Owl Eye, any peg you're at is peg 1. You wrap peg 1 and 2 loosely and knit them off. Wrap peg 1 and 2 loosely, knit them off. And wrapping peg 1 and 2, knitting it off. So here I am, whatever peg I'm on, peg 1, wrapping peg 1 and 2, and knitting them off. 1 and 2, knitting it off. So that's the Owl Eye. Now the Purl Over Stitch is not a purl, not a purl at all, but that's the name it was given. but it's very easy to do. It's easier to do than a purl. But anyway, we'll finish this row. So we come to the end, and I'm just going to knit over in the owl eye stitch. That, you want to split this yarn, and then come back over the two like that. Oh, but just come over the one actually. I forgot I'm doing the other stitch here. Okay, so my edges look like this, kind of a braided look. Coming back like that, and it's working fine to keep, and this is nice and flat, it doesn't curl. It's going to be a nice flat scarf. There we go. There. Okay, so now we're coming back, and I've gone over that peg. Now we're going to do the purl over for a row. So I'm always going to be doing owl eye one way and purl over the other way. So very easy stitch that way. You put the yarn up like that on top, not under like you're doing a purl, but on top. Then you go under the loop and scoop it up. Okay, so I'm scooping it up, and I just flip it over. Just flip it over like that and give it a little tug. Okay, so I'm going to come up here so you can see it good. Working yarn at the top, you go under the loop, over the working yarn, and scoop it up, and you just flip it over just like that. That's all there is to it. Give it a tug. So under, scoop it up, tug. That's it. Okay, I'll do a real close up here. We're over it, under, scooping it up, and just slipping it over, snugging it up. Okay, under, pull the yarn, and just flip it over, give it a snug. Under. This is the way you'd go if you were doing a true knit. But in a true knit, you would knit it off. You wouldn't just flip it over. So it's creating a stitch, and we're going on to the other side of the work. Okay, so that's all there is to it. So we just do that all the way down. There. The yarn, everything got stuck there. Okay. And that's all there is to it. And you get going pretty fast. You're just flipping it over. So that's how I do it. I just flip it over. Next peg. Usually not at such an awkward angle, and at this angle, so that I can do the video and you can see it. It's always a little more awkward when I'm doing these videos. Okay, whoop. Loom fell down. Want it up here so you can see it well. Okay, it's like this. Very easy. You can just whip yourself along. You can do it with your fingers. You could do it like this. Lots of ways that you can do that purl over. You can just grab the loop, put it over. And you don't have to use two hands like I'm doing. It can all be done with one hand. You're just putting it over. I just usually use two hands, but you don't have to. It can all be done with one hand like that. Pull it down, scoop it up. I'm having trouble with this yarn. It just wants to split. Okay. But it's a pretty color. I like it. But it's quite different than the other charisma. And then I just knit over, come back like that, and start doing the owl eye stitch. So then it's a row of owl eye. And that's all there is to it. That's the stitch pattern. Cobblestone stitch pattern. And just have another look at it here. That's what it looks like. Look at it at this angle. That looks really nice this way too. Actually, maybe we'll look at it from the side so you can, let's really take a look at the texture. See, it's an amazing amount of texture, and it's still stretched a little bit because it's not that far off the loom, but really beautiful texture. Okay, and we'll look at the other side again. There it is. I get closer to it this way, and you can see what it looks like, and it's a really nice stitch in its own right. It's a nice and flat too, like, or not flat, but smooth but textured. And this side, you can really feel the texture. Okay, so there you go. Now you know how to do the stitch. And until next time, bye.